I won't hold you guys too long, okay? I just want to give you guys some example what we can actually improvise and develop a bit more, okay, on your kind of improvement on your modeling techniques there. All right. I bet, like, and some of you guys really need more and more kind of practice on developing your foundations, which is basically your foundation of imagination kind of things there, or you using the tool at the same times, and also to develop your kind of wild kind of uh, fantasy when it comes to modeling, okay, using the sculptures itself there, right? Okay. So what I actually have seen from some of your kind of developments there, okay, especially for those who actually really need more extra attention on developing your skills there. If you if you say there, okay, if you say basically that you are really in the creative kind of courses, right? You want to further your study in creative courses, right? FIT, multimedias there, animations there, for example, there, okay? I would suggest for you to develop more on your foundations kind of understanding, not only on 3D modelings, but foundation kind of understanding there. What I mean by that is your skills in art base there, okay? In art base, all right? So that means your drawing skills here. Drawing skill has to be developed a little bit more further there, okay? The tool that you guys are going to use in 3D modelings is basically only a software or applications. But the difference between what you can actually imagine and transform into the models or into the papers is always based on your foundation skills there, especially traditional skills, which is required for you to develop more on your drawings there. All right. Because a lot of people can have this kind of wily imaginations in your mind there, okay? Whatever that you have in mind there, okay? But what I actually have experienced before with some of the students, some of the colleague, my friend, basically, who actually into the animation or 3D modeling kind of animations kind of careers there, right? If you don't have a very strong kind of foundation of understanding there, like human body proportions there, uh, faces kind of proportions, alignments there, okay? And basically you have that very poor kind of understanding to develop the skills. It will give you guys a lot of what I say, basically what I would say, okay, a lot of disadvantage there, okay, when it comes to develop basically your kind of design skill, whether you're going to use any different kind of application that you want, right? Design application, right? Like, even though like 2D kind of applications like animations, Adobe Animate, Photoshops, AI, all this kind of foundation kind of software that have very strong core value on your designs kind of output later on there, right? Okay, they will be affected, right? Okay? They will have a lot of strong effect from there, and they have a strong kind of influence also at the same time. If you have that kind of skills there, I'm not saying that you cannot draw, you can actually persuade yourself into creative kind of design subjects there. Of course, you still can. But the point is right now, we're talking about your development kind of skills that you need to develop, you have to practice, you need to do some exercise to build up basically your creative kind of understanding from here. Okay, from here there, right? That's why when I actually look at your modeling techniques, okay, modeling kind of styles there, okay, we can see whether the student really can have that kind of senses of design that we want to develop that design senses there. Most students, most of the students there, when they actually learn creative design module or subject there, right? They kind of like learn because they want to get those kind of submission for the assignments. They kind of doing not because of the patience they have, the passions they have, like, they build that together when they actually enter the module or learn basically this kind of professions, kind of skills there, right? They kind of treat what you've learned, it's just like you want to pass the exam, get the grades, and then you let the destiny going to be what we call that showing basically your route, your path there, okay, spontaneously or what we call that subconsciously they may be there, okay. But it's not going to be looked that way there, okay, because nowadays, if I might share there, okay, one other thing that I just explored this morning there, okay, before we start the class, okay. When I'm talking about designing a head, okay, like portrait or human head, a robot or monsters there, whatever that you want to develop, okay, from these subjects here, okay, it's all about how well you're going to develop basically your kind of understanding when you model them up. If you go through back again, okay, this is some of the face modeling that based on, I would say, dragon there, okay. From what I actually can imagine there, okay, from what I can, using the same tools there, guys, using the same tools to work on that, right? Because I don't want to portray, okay, everyone has to do something like uh, someone else there, but I have those responsibility to give you guys some options there to work. So if you really, really want to play with your imagination, for example, when I see like Thailand kind of works there, right? Okay, Harsh is here. Good. When I look at to Thailand kind of works there, right? I would say that there's a lot of things that we have to use, what we call that, need to develop from here there, okay? Especially on the modeling head there, okay? To finish up the right direct. I'm not saying that they cannot draw, okay? You cannot draw, okay? You can basically modeling them, but it's lack of some of detailings and refining basically, okay? And also there's not enough kind of uh, explorations on the muscle kind of structures itself there, okay? But it's a good start, but you need to have also some sort of like develop the senses of understanding while basically modeling it, right? That's why all this kind of understanding is came from reference, as I actually have shown you guys before, right? And also some development on your own foundations kind of sketch there, okay? So to create this kind of anatomy kind of understanding there before you're going to model them, okay? And when you want to experiment them so using the faces, it will give you more advantages for you to develop from there. And the other thing is, right, this, okay, like JC kind of works over here, right, okay, to work with those kind of, what we call that, the figures there, okay, the full figures there, all right. So to start with, right, okay, with the full figures, let me see the files there first. Right there. This city I start with this one. So I'm basically using the same kind of model like you there, okay. What I can say from here, right? If I don't want to spend too much time, right, to work with the faces there first, right? What I can do, I'm using basically back again what we call that the grab tools here. Okay, still using grab tools there to work. And then when I want to start to manage to extend basically the neck and the body itself, there, right? Just the size a bit, and then start to work carefully. Okay, I don't know whether you actually rushing to work with that kind of modelings or you actually really spend your own times there, okay, to model them back. I don't know directly because to model the human body, you cannot actually just simply just model them or extend some of the body kind of parts there, okay. So spend more times, okay, to develop basically those structures there. So right now, the shoulders there, right? Hold a bit there. We try to extend basically the lower chest there, right? Okay, body here. Okay. It's just like you just extrude the whole thing without having a lot of kind of understanding there to spend more time to exaggerate or extend basically the model there, okay? Because when it comes to design the human body directly, spend time to understand how basically the things work first. Okay, don't rush too much directly when it comes to work with it. So if you actually write rushing too much, develop your kind of models, they're going to be quite weird lah. Okay. So what I'm trying to do right now, right? I try to create basically like a human body, but not too superhuman directly. I try to create a bit more like chibi characters there. You know chibi characters, right? Very, very kind of like not kawaii directly, but very little kind of characters there first. So make sure the models basically right being refined there. Don't stress too much there like that, all right? Okay. Spend more time on with your models there to see whether you can actually make it right on some of the areas there first. So because this kind of assignments basically is a part of the development process of understanding there. But if you can do it more better, okay, like finalize some of the things is good there, okay. But if you seems need more times to develop your understanding, why don't you actually take more times here by working, understand first the purpose why you actually want to create this particular kind of exercise there, okay, or assignment as well. Particularly right now, I try to spend more times to develop my kind of understanding over here. Okay. Don't make it too rushed there for you guys that works. Refine a little bit more and more, okay, before you get it right. For me, my challenge is, right, okay, I'm talking about while actually working, okay, with you guys. I don't know how much time you spend for some of you guys, right, to work with your models there, right? If you think that you're doing quite rush, I would suggest you still have times to improve them back. Okay. One of the most important thing that you have to remember there, right, okay, is all about understanding that, build up those understanding that, not just call that, just create as a chinchai kind of works there, okay? You know chinchai there, right? Just simply working on that, okay, without having a lot of understanding how to work and operate those models there. And then when you guys have complete maybe the basics kind of what we call that models there, then you go back into the head there, right? So the point is right now to develop that kind of understanding there first. Spend more time, okay, the way that I saw from what some of you guys have produced here, right, okay, like JC there, I would say that you're too rushing there, okay, to model these kind of things there. Is it right, JC? It's kind of you don't actually right learn to develop, okay, those kind of things. Spend more time to understand the tools itself when you want to extract or mold them back there, right? Okay. So try to spend a bit more time there to work on it, understand about the tools there first. Or whatever that you have in mind, right, when you actually model them back, right, when you model them right, just play with it. Don't make it too rush until you basically jeopardize back again your kind of developments there. Okay. All right. So don't too rush there, okay? Look at it back again to your model to see the difference there first, right? What actually you can actually improve from here, right? I can see this part, right? Okay, the neck and the back of the body has to be improved a bit more, right? Okay? Because of those, sort of the muscles there, okay? Right, this part also can be improved a bit more there, right? So spend time there, right, okay, to develop them back, all right? I use a very simple kind of methods that to works to refine them, even though this is some of the areas we can improve later on directly. But if you can actually develop, right, some sort of understanding like this directly, we can see whether you really spend more time to work on that. For me, I just spend around a few minutes there, okay, to show you guys how it works there. So if you think this model is not good, okay, just delete them and open up and work back again there, okay. Spend times from there. One of the most important thing about the lessons over here is not only the quality of model that you produce, how good you are that day, but how you can develop that kind of understanding there that show basically on your models that will bring over to your submissions there. Those are the things that we want to see there, okay? Let's just say modeling the body is quite hard for you at the moment there. That's why I give you guys two choices there to submit. It doesn't mean that you complete, okay, everyone can draw or should basically submit two different models, for example, as what we actually have stated, right? Okay, full figures and also the head there, right? It doesn't mean that those people's who actually submit them going to get a full marks on that. Well, based on the quality itself. But because the process of developing your understanding using the tools, I'm assured that you need some people need more times there to understand. Why don't you focus on one subject matters or one models there? For example, okay, I cannot actually draw figures at the first, like a full body figures there, okay? It doesn't mean I cannot give a very good marks if you're modeling the head there, right? But you have to show your efforts, your kind of way of working to modeling the head a bit more details there. You spend more times there, okay, to work on that. Okay, you spend more time there to modeling and understanding how all the kind of tools going to be operate to get a very good result to your models there. Spend more time there, focus there, right? So the quality of your model will give a very good marks from there. It doesn't mean the amount of your works there. Let's just say you create the whole thing. You have 10 different kind of models there, for examples. But all look like this one there, right? For example there, okay? Or overall look like this, right? Not finished there, okay? Not haven't finished there. We cannot actually see the finished kind of works there. It's just like just experiment. Yes, you still can get marks there, but it doesn't mean the marks are going to be given are going to be the high grade marks there. Depending there, guys, okay? The quality of the works there, the modeling that you saw, okay, that you actually produced, right? How far basically you can improve from there. But of course, if you don't have any other choices, that's why basically what we actually have been given, the marks is quite subjective there. It says it's all based on my kind of what we call that, not basically the thing that we call bias, the rubrics that based on what I said just now already, your efforts that you show, the focus kind of way that you actually produce from there. We can see that the student focus on their development from there. You spend, let's just say you spend 1 day or 2 days there to model one particular kind of what we call that modeling there, okay? And we see the result from there. You guys can see the result from there, right? We don't have to cheat ourselves, okay? Let's just say you spend how many time, okay? How much time do you spend right here to work on that, right? How much time do you spend? If you say 8 hours, I don't believe that, right? I don't believe 8 hours there. For example, there, guys. Okay, I would say this not more than 1 hours there, maybe. Is it true there, JC? JC here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. How much time do you spend there, JC? I'm not trying to offend you or accuse you.
I'm just trying to do the scale. I will do the detail later.
Okay, why don't you actually create new models? Okay, don't use the
Oh?
same models. Don't use the same models. Just create the new one. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
okay. Don't worry there. So
Yep.
how much time do you spend here?
Uh, I was just trying to do the scale, so
Oh, rushing is it?
no, not really.
No, no, it's rushing there. Are you sure? But for the art six, maybe there, okay. Let's just say we want to model them and then we print the 3D, for example, there, okay. Using for the art kind of exhibition works, it might be acceptable. But you have to bring also the concepts of the ideas behind the model itself. Okay, you have to explain a little bit there, okay, the backstory of the models there. But in terms of developing process, okay, develop your skills. For me, it's not that acceptable, okay, at the moment there. We're going to see how far you can go from there. But if you say, as I already record the sessions over here, and I want to state back again, if you thought that modeling full figures at the moments there, when you want to submit them, were not going to be a very good kind of ideas for you to work on that. So don't force yourself first. But if you have those time, yes, go for it. And I believe you guys have. I like this one there, right? Okay. Like this is Mariam, is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Why don't you put your names over here?
I did.
Oh, there, there. Okay, sorry, there. Okay. I always confused with this one, there. Okay, Nishva, there, right? Right. Sorry, there, right? Huh? You don't like Mariam name, or you really?
In
Finish father, right?
my country, the middle name is like considered our first name.
Or the first name lah. All right, okay. Same goes to me, right? My name is Muhammad Faisal, but people call Faisal there, right? Same, right? But I never thought that women also, ladies also, they call with the same name like that, right? With the middle name there.
Back in my country, it's how the names are.
Oh, but in Malaysia, normally, right, the first name for the ladies, we get to call their first name lah, right? Right. But my daughter, basically, I call the second name also. The name is Nur Ilham Akila, so I call the middle name also, right? Even unless if I get angry with her, basically, I call the full name there. All right. Okay, now guys. Okay, some of the things that you can learn also from your friend, like this one. Okay, we can see the efforts there. Okay, the efforts there. Okay, even though it's not that perfect there. Okay, but we can see the efforts of understanding that you built from there. Okay, you built there. JC, thank you very much. Even though you want to show me basically the progress kind of works, hopefully you can actually improve from there. Okay, because I want to give a very good mark for you, because I heard that you guys have been have a very good score on your previous kind of what we call the assignment from Mr. Ernest. So that means in my class, I would say I would love to give more a very good kind of efforts mark from there. Okay, that's why I actually just want to discuss with you back again how it works there. Okay, how far you can go from there, how much you can explore. You know, guys, what I think that I always have in mind normally there, right? If I have that kind of privilege like you guys there, okay, when it comes to students kind of works lah, right? Even though I have that kind of privilege also this time basically, okay, to develop basically my own kind of skills here. But if I were you guys, I would love basically to explore more and more from what we have here. It's quite exciting there, okay, because you guys can actually learn all these kind of applications in the early age there, in the stage there, right? So we can see basically, right, you guys had that kind of privilege to develop all this kind of understanding at the early stage, even though it's quite basically very early kind of stage there, very basics there, but it's a very good start from there. And but don't relying on only to submit for the assignments there. Hopefully after this you can explore more and more on your kind of skills by using basically these applications there, right? Okay, those are the things that hopefully you guys can develop them from time to time there. We have 1, 2, 3. This one from here, right? Okay, there. Okay, good. We have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. I would I would actually write. Okay, Ayan, how is it? We have another student there, right? Other than Ayan there. Irfan, is it? Is Irfan actually still in your class?
I think he is. He just hasn't been attending a few classes.
Yeah, because he messaged me that he wants to submit the works there, but I don't see any kind of work from him there, right? Okay? Because I would say if he actually doesn't actually commit, it's okay. I will actually going to be what we call that put it him into defer, or maybe he don't actually have some non-active students there. Simple as that. All right. So that thing can be done. Okay, but the rest of you guys like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, 10 of you guys. Right. Hopefully, right, we can actually give more time for you guys to develop them, and I'm looking forward to give those marks from there. Okay, what the presentation next week? Right, from those videos. If you guys want to use Discord or any other applications there, okay, just to present without showing your face, I'm okay with it, right? As long as we can actually just get basically your kind of video presentations, okay, for our recording, right? For our what we call that record kind of sessions there, okay, because we want to make some records kind of document also, right? Okay, that students actually have basically have what we call that have done their works there, okay, according to what we plan, and they have developed some of the understanding from here. So those are the things that is very important also for us, okay. Even though I would say that my contract are not going to be continue maybe next semester, whatever it is, okay. So as long as we can actually record basically the sessions, is good, okay. For the repetitions for you, for the college university at the same time, okay, we can have that kind of session there that we do some presentations on online sessions, even though we have this kind of situations, okay, to give a bit kind of what we call that experiment on the study itself there, right? All right, any questions there so far there, guys? Any questions?
Wait, are we presenting on the spot or is it still the video?
Video there, okay, pre-record already. Okay, pre-record already. So that means during this kind of sessions, let's just say I'm open up my YouTube channels over here, okay? You see, you give me the link there, right? Personal link. So we can actually review right here, right? We can review it, right? Anyone to order pizza? No, right? All right, we can still, right, showing basically your presentations over here, like this one there, right? Okay. So I'm recording basically the sessions like this by opening up your own sessions there, your sessions over here, all right? So the record session, I'm recording at the same times. So we can see your kind of presentations, right, okay, online. And you don't have to worry about to save the files or whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to do those kind of the rest of the job there, okay? But because we want to save more time at the same time, okay, to work on that. So the presentation maybe around 5 or maybe less than 10 minutes there, okay? So we can see how far we go from here there, okay? Then it's all done. All right. By right, I can actually write submit. Basically, I can actually evaluate your work instead, right? If I want to, but I want to wait also your kind of presentations. I want to see what you are saying from there. Okay, can you list down what we should say in the presentation? It's a simple there. Okay, yeah, I'm going to list down back. Okay, right. The presentations are going to be a. Sorry, right. Okay, I'm going to list down later on, okay, on the presentations, what you should actually say, right? But it's very simple there, okay, to present the works there, okay. Normally, okay, we just greet, right, our lecturers there, and then the normal kind of formal kind of what we call that explanations, okay, on to present ourselves. And then we talk about our design exploration kind of study that based on 3D sculptures kind of modeling techniques, that what you guys learn from there, what you expect later on there, okay? And also by the same times, okay, you can actually explain a bit, okay, what kind of the tools there, simple kind of things like what are the tools that you use there, how much you spend there, okay? And how actually you explore those kind of methods at the same times on your own or during the sessions that we have, and what are basically your kind of planning later on in the futures there that will be bring into your own creative journeys later on there, okay? Those are the things that can be applied. And one of the most important thing is you have to introduce also your kind of courses or your module that you're taking right now, okay? And in the futures, where basically your direction that you want to go from this, what we call the lessons there. What you can see from there, what you want to do and produce there, right? Okay? Those are the things there, right? It's very simple kind of presentations, right? So one of the most important thing about presentations normally, like this one, okay, not the particular like a FYP project, there, right? Normally, we want to see how actually you present yourself and your works. That's all. By showing basically your samples. Simple as that. Okay? It's very simple as that, right? Okay? All right, guys? And remember that, guys, okay, what I said just now. If you doesn't have a lot of times to work with human figures there, but because when you want to develop the human figures, the requirements that you want to, which the individual has to have, is a basic understanding there, right? But if you think that you don't want to there, to work on that. So focus on the faces. Focus on the faces there. Portrait faces there, right? Okay? Those are the things that you can actually work on it first. To see how well basically you can develop your understanding from here to draw or to develop, to model your own kind of styles or interpretations on the characters itself there, right? Okay, that's basically what we want to see. From it. Okay, I think Silen tried to draw, develops the goblin there, right? To spend time there, okay. I also, okay, love to see the students who have been spend times to develop basically those techniques of modeling, right? Even though you didn't have to draw them first, right? You didn't have to start to draw them first. You play with your imagination at the same times. You work back again with your understanding by using the tools. Okay, by using the tools there. So using your creativities that you have in mind. Okay, let's just say, oh, I don't have those kind of skills that to draw that, right? Okay. Most people actually have this kind of understanding there, okay? If I cannot draw, I cannot model there. Of course you can. But you have to use basically your kind of understanding by observing things back again. Observing things there. That means you have to observe things, train your eyes to see things in the right way. Right. Study the human anatomies back again. And try to take looks with some of the reference photos there that you can actually get from any kind of reference there, right? And I believe that you guys also, okay, watch a lot of movie or animations there, right? So when you watch movies or animations, okay, for example, there, right, okay, try to not only to educate yourself there, but what you guys can actually get from there in terms of developing your ideas there, okay, or how you're going to develop that kind of design kind of ideas from that movies that you actually saw. That's basically one of the things that can develop your skills. Okay, Take a look at how actually I create right now, okay? Those kind of faces there. There's a lot of faces that I create, right? I try to spend more times not just to go into more detailing there, but the basic structures there on the faces there that will bring into to the design itself. And I don't know whether you guys actually right when you're actually modeling your kind of characters or your kind of subjects there, right? Whether you actually right go through with this kind of process. Okay. There's a one kind of exercise that we did incentive, not we call it like very efficiently there, okay? When we train basically students in art and design there, right? We call it observation exercise there. Right, observation exercise basically, what do you mean by that? We observe things in the right way. Okay. How actually going to explain them, right? So this is the thing that I can explain there. Okay. I want to give you guys some stuff understanding there. All right. One of the observation exercise that we actually have trained ourselves there. I will always love to go back into what we call that, the foundation exercise, because they will give you basically a very good kind of advantages later on when you come to develop your skill. Okay, I have these two different kind of samples there that I get from one of the 3D modeling kind of what we call that sites there, okay, ZBrush there, okay. This is the original pictures there. This is what I actually have improved, but basically using Photoshop only there, right? Okay. When I actually upload these pictures there, based from one of the artists in ZBrush there, okay, what are the mistakes that you saw from me? Okay, Lara, okay, when you actually look at these pictures there, if people don't understand about the human proportions, understand the human proportion, okay, other than the features of the faces, right, doesn't look like heroic there, okay, kind of guy there, okay, it looks more like a gay kind of guy there, I don't know there, okay, Aqua that may be there, right, okay, this guy, this model, these characters there. So what I actually have seen from you, the proportion is not right. The proportion, the human proportions there, the head is too small there, even though if he said, if the creator said, he actually, what we call that, using a low angle kind of shots there, right, okay, that show a little bit more kind of a perspective there on the position of the model itself, okay. But when you actually post, okay, to the public directly, we can see a lot of flaws on there. So what I actually did, right, I make the second comparison there. This is basically the right kind of positions there, the right kind of proportions there for the body. If you don't have this kind of understanding there, it might say that basically, maybe basically the mistakes, but you don't know how to comment them back, how to improve them back there, okay? So I did a few kind of adjustments, and this is what actually I get from the results there, okay, to make it more proper kind of looks and feel from there. Right. This is what we call the design senses that we develop from the observation exercise. Observation exercise there, right? Okay, one of the observation exercise that we did, that I did a lot with myself previously when I actually developed basically my kind of design senses when I was studying, is by drawing from one of the exercise that we call the observation exercise there, right? Okay. How actually we're going to do that? For example, say, okay, I have these pictures here. Okay. I want to draw these pictures, okay? If I ask you guys to draw these pictures, right? What basically you're going to do first? Most of people there, let me answer the questions there, right? Will actually have a different kind of understanding there. when they want to draw. But with the observation exercise that we did, not only using Photoshop, we're using the traditional methods there. What we used to do there, we are going to draw or develop our understanding by working with the line drawings. Okay, so how actually we study the whole structures there. We are going to work, I don't know whether you guys have been working or not like this one, but without physical kind of classes, it's kind of a bit hard there, okay, for the students normally to understand that. People who actually can draw from talents or learn by himself, they kind of have a certain kind of understanding is good, okay, but anyone actually have experience, we call it continuous line drawing. Everyone have this kind of exercise before? The continuous line drawing that we call them. It's not all about how good your drawing is, but this is what we call observation exercise there. That we did basically traditionally that we have done, we have learned to develop our understanding by look at things in the right way. We kind of we continuing to draw every single line to construct the structures of any other subject matter that we draw using this kind of continuous line to understand about the detailings when it comes to studies the whole structures there of any other subject matters that we want to draw later on there. This is basically one of the basic exercise, but the foundation exercise that built the artist to understand about how they see things in the right way there, with a good quality of line. But when it comes to physical kind of what we call that traditional kind of methods, they're going to be a little bit more harder there, right? Because this is how actually we see things when we move our hands together with our eyes, okay? The observation exercise has to be coordinated with 3 different components of our body there, okay? Which means your hands will be follow basically the movement of your eyes when you want to draw them. Any other subject matter that you want to draw, okay, you name it there, right? And from there, oh God, there, right? Okay, I didn't actually add new layers there. But this is the kind of line drawing that we need to apply, right? One of the exercise there, right, to work. One of the exercise that you work. But one of the exercise that the most important exercise that we did to make us build that kind of understanding by controlling also the stroke at the same time when you draw. It's just like a mind mapping kind of drawings there. It's like a map kind of drawing or gaseous kind of line drawings there, right? Continuous line kind of drawings there, sorry. Contour line drawing exercise there. So this is one of the important exercise that people always take for granted there, especially those who cannot draw. They always thought when they want to draw, whatever they actually write, start to put those pen into those papers, the magics are going to be came from there. It's not. It's a science there already. It's basically a method of science that people actually have tested before. And I actually one of the living and more than from a million guys who actually have studied basically I believe that Mr. Ernesto also have this kind of exercise before when he was actually studying them there, okay? And he also still working on that with the students there physically when it comes to the drawing classes there, right? So this kind of subject, this kind of techniques were basically really effective there if you're doing in the right way. There's been connection between the hands, eyes, and mind there, right? Or brain, your brain there, right? Okay? These coordinations that we call that, right? Without having a very good coordination between these 3 components, right? That's why you cannot draw well. Your hands, your eyes basically control your hands. Where to move, where you're going to start there, without taking off your pen or pencils before you complete your drawings there. It's not like we just draw something like this directly. Some people were going to start to draw directly. They start to control the structures there, right? The brush strokes there, right? Looks simple like this one directly, but for those who really have the lack of understanding there to draw, they won't be able to get it right. We especially want to control basically the structures of your hands when it comes to draw, right? The human structures there. A lot of people always have the confusion there, where to start there, where to move there, right? So those are the things that always had the dilemma, okay, between the students there, or I would say the newbies there, right? Okay? Who actually want to draw or design things there, right? Because whatever that you guys been working on right now in 3D modeling that we're talking about right now, right? Okay? All that kind of what we call that results we can see from the person itself, whether the person actually have the very good skills there when it comes to draw there, right? Okay? Before they're going to model them, because they're going to be affected basically your senses. Nowadays, basically, right? Okay, and what we actually have been, what we call that thought also previously, whatever you guys been working on right now is only a tool. Only a tool there. It's a drawing tool there. It's just like you want to become a carpenter, right? You need to have the tools directly to repair some of the shoes or what we call that, to create some sort of like tables or chairs or whatever there, right? It's a tools only there. But how actually you develop that kind of tools into the skills that you practice there, right? Okay, it's all based on your understanding there. Okay, based on your understanding, right? So remember that, guys. Okay, if you guys can actually go through with it, we call it, okay, one of the first exercise that we did for the drawing classes basically is a blind drawing. Blind drawing there. Blind drawings is one of the first exercise that we always did, and then we work with the contour line drawing there. If you really want to be good at what you do in creative kind of studies there, right? Especially in design, don't take for granted or look away or don't take serious on these two different kind of these two exercises there. Even though I can actually draw well basically when I was studying there, okay, but my kind of understanding of proportion is very weak. I've used erasers a lot when I draw, but when I study formally, right, like you guys here, all the things that I thought would change, right, in 360 degrees of my life there. Why? Because I start to take serious on these fundamentals there. Fundamentals there, right? Not basics there, fundamental exercise there. That changes a lot of artists there, right? Okay? Or designers there, right? But a lot of people take for granted with this exercise, even though they can use the tool there. But the problem is when you want to design your own characters, you start to draw your own characters there, right? For example, here, or your own cartoon characters there, or whatever that you want to draw there, right? You don't have that kind of flexibility to develop basically your own design. Okay? Confidence there, right? To develop those confidence there when you want to design your ideas there, right? You don't have that. Because you don't develop that kind of understanding from here to controlling basically those strokes there, right? A lot of people always thought whatever they actually put on those tables or on the what we call that, on the papers, okay, they are going to be complete fine there, right? Okay? But the thing is, this is a part of the process that people always forget, right? Okay? To sketch out their ideas there first. That's basically what makes basically your kind of what we call that senses there, okay? It's really kind of like lagging there, okay? Even though you knowing the tools really well there, right? You know basically how to use the tools there, but based from your imaginations right now, where you're going to start, where you're going to move, where you're going to be improved there, okay? You kind of have that kind of worry there, okay? That it's hard for us to change it, right? You cannot see, right, okay, the changes there, okay? Because whatever that you try to imagine, it kind of doesn't work well. Because of that kind of lack of understanding. Okay, guys? So that's why if you take a look back again, whatever you can do, right? Spend more times more on your creations there, right? Less play game less, right? After what we call that, maybe after you actually right complete the SEM, waiting for the results, you guys can go back into play games there, right? For me, right, this is my game, right? Try to be more flexible on your times. You have more flexible, right? And make it like this kind of tools that you have here. It's a part of the game there. If you think in that kind of particular way, you will appreciate more on your times that you have to develop your skill. Is a part also, or it's part of the games there. It's a part of the games. Right, guys? It's a part of the games there. So those are the things that, right, that when you look at back again to your modeling techniques there, okay, one more thing. Okay, let's say that goblins. Take a look there, okay? What type of goblins that we see from here? You can redraw them back. See some of the anatomies of the faces that you might going to use as a reference there, right? Okay, to works. All this is a part also some observation exercise there. Get some reference more and more directly to enhance the kind of your understanding. This kind of visual kind of receiving that you actually write captured into your mind, it subconsciously basically you build basically some of the importance kind of visual kind of libraries in your mind there that will enhance a bit kind of your imaginations later on in the futures. We're not actually looking at things when we actually knowing how to use the tools in the same way anymore, right? Normally, okay, when you study in design, whatever that you saw from here, they're going to be a part of your way of receiving those visuals and use back again what you see to develop back again your understanding there when you modeling or drawing or design them back. You might going to see some of the detailing that you saw from your kid. So they designed this kind of eyes bit kind of like off from those side of the faces there, right? Okay, for example, there You see some of the detail. Can I actually work with this kind of detail? How actually can work at it? We can try that first, right? Okay. All this kind of uh, process that you talking to yourself, all right, while you actually analyze other people's kind of works, they will give you a more kind of learning experience by looking at other people's things there, not looking at the problems there, but you try kind of like develop your own kind of way to solve that problem later on. Don't look at things as a problem there. Okay? For example, right, of course, right, okay, we actually have to pass some of the things like this one. Okay, oh, I don't think I can draw this one there first. Okay, let's pass by there. Okay, try to seek for new kind of things or other things that you might going to use as the reference there. So maybe I can draw this one, maybe in the future there, or right now, go ahead to work on that. Right. All these kind of things that you actually playing with your mind there, when you actually running with your mind there and talk to yourself by try to assume that you can solve that kind of problem, they will give you more advantage for you to develop your kind of imaginations later on. I don't know whether you guys actually work like that, Ricky, but if you always thought, Ricky, it's hard there, Ricky. The psychological kind of effect that you have, they will be hard for you. You won't be able to find the solutions there. Why? Because you always think it's quite hard there. I cannot actually do it. Okay? No positive kind of attitude or feelings that you build up. Okay, when you actually look at things, it doesn't have any drive there. Okay, for you guys to move on into the next levels there. You don't drive yourself from there. That's why people can't basically move a little bit kind of one step further from there. They don't build up that kind of positive kind of thinking at the same time, right? That's why we can see some of your works over here. It's kind of like very loose a little bit there, okay? So Irfan were there, but no attachments. 12. Play. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll suddenly have 12 there, right? Okay. Thank you for remind me there. All right. Pang over here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Let me check back again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay. Just send it basically here to Mr. and Mr. Okay. With team. Okay. This is from Pang there. Right. A nice try there, okay. So from here, okay, we can see, okay, even though it's not complete, but it shows basically the understanding that she tried to be developed from here. So those are the good things there from there that we can see from the summation itself. All right. Hush. Right, good hush there, right? Yeah. Yeah, we can see the efforts from there. Even though we can actually refine a bit more on the tools from there, okay? Make a smaller kind of size of a tool that can refine a bit more. But it's a good try there. Right, guys? Hayan, how is it, Hayan? Is there any progress from there?
I'll have the progression for both week 12 and 13 up by the end of by Monday, I think. Yeah.
All right, okay, thank you there. Okay. Okay, guys. So one of the best way for you to submit, spend more times on one particular model first. Okay, if you think that you won't be able to focus on two different modules at the same times, right? I just want to see how well we want to see how well basically you can actually refine back again your kind of understanding there by using the tools itself, right? Those are the things that, right? And try to expand a bit kind of your imagination at the same time here. Okay, that's basically one of the important kind of criteria. Basically, you want to evaluate basically back again the student kind of works. Okay. All right, guys. The directions basically on your models that here we can see clearly, okay, when you start to model them back there, okay, those are the things that we want to evaluate from your submissions there. We actually, right, hopefully, right, okay, as teenagers or youngsters there, okay, nowadays, you can have more kind of, we just always hopefully that you will have more kind of wild imagination than us like old folks there, right? We always thought like that. So those are the things that we always thought that, right, as students, youngsters who play games a lot, right? You kind of have more kind of wily imagination than us there, right? That's basically what we always assume the students they have. So for me, right, okay, I rarely can play games. I try to install and subscribe one of the Steams there, okay, but suddenly I felt that my schedules is doesn't make me want to have that kind of privilege anymore to play games there. Even though when I have a Netflix there, okay, recently, but when I actually saw some of the movies there, okay, right, but I don't know, right, okay, I kind of doesn't have any enjoyment anymore. I don't know why. I don't know why they're right. I'm also quite afraid they're right, okay, that the enjoyment of watching movies like those days doesn't basically have that kind of glue anymore, right? Yeah, I'm afraid also that, right? But I don't know why. Maybe because of the age that I have here right now, that responsibility that I always have, we always have, right? Okay? So some of you guys said, okay, you live in the street there, right? Okay? You should have this kind of what we call that. I'm grateful what you have here right now. I also feel like that way that I feel very grateful that okay, that I can do whatever I want there, right? I can explore a bit more, right? And spend more time there to develop a little bit more kind of my kind of creative kind of process of working there at the same times, right? Those are the things that I find quite great there, right? Okay, at this pandemic kind of stuff like happens there, right? But at the same time, it's quite very have a very great kind of privilege there to have more freedom. This is basically what I felt, all right, from the situation that we have for almost a year there, okay, now. But it's very grateful there, guys. Very grateful there, okay. I'm not saying it's bad enough. Okay? I don't know about other people there, right? But if you think all the obstacles that you have, I also have some sort of like personal kind of obstacles there. Right? I bet you guys also have, but all these kind of obstacles that we have, they kind of want to build us a very strong kind of core, maybe in the futures there. That's why I actually right felt a little bit kind of like grateful with it because all these kind of challenges that we have normally they always have a reason there, right? Why? So take it as a part of the good things also at the same time. Okay, we take out the bad things there, right? Because they always have a bright light there, okay, within the darkness. Those are the things that I always felt there, right? As long you put your positive energy on yourself, okay? That's basically the things that I saw. That actually I felt that, right? All right, guys. So play more in the right way. Okay. If you don't have any questions, right, we can actually dismiss early today. So hopefully you guys can actually explore a bit more on your model itself. As I told you guys, okay, clearly there, okay, even though I didn't list down, okay, the simple kind of notes about the presentations, don't worry about that too much there, okay? It's a very simple presentation there. But the most important thing is your output, your outcome that you actually achieve from what you've learned from the past 4 or 5 weeks here. That's the most important thing there, guys. I always told my student, my kids also the same thing. As a student, also the same thing there, right? Okay. Whatever that you guys learned, try to develop your kind of discovery and understanding from each session that you've been working on. Even though you were actually working on your own, right? On developing the kind of studies on the model itself, there, okay. Make sure you gain something from each kind of session that you actually did on yourself at the same time, right? So that's are the things that the values of the works that you can actually produce from there. The tools basically is in front of you, right? Whatever that you want, basically, right? Everything is in front of us there, right? So there's no such thing that you can actually explore from there. Okay. It's all up to you guys how we're going to mold basically back again your kind of creative kind of understanding here, right? Those are the things that I actually look into those kind of your kind of journey and experience there, right? Okay, spend more time from there, right? If I actually spend a few minutes only to model these kind of phases there by explaining you guys also how it works, but at the same time I show some of the reference there, right? Okay, I bet with the time that you guys have, you can actually focus more there, okay, to build up more from there. Don't stop and don't feel too comfortable, okay, with your work. Even though like Tresada, okay, if you think that you have modeled that kind of things, if you have more that you want to show on your explorations, go ahead there, okay. It might going to lead into more good kind of marking evaluations, okay, for your own personal kind of achievements there that we can actually proceed from there, right? So to get a full marks basically, right, for some people's, right, you actually have reached them, but we want to see more from there, what you can actually capable from there, right, that you can actually explore a bit more on your creativities at the same time. That's basically the challenge for those who actually really can do well directly on your works there. We want to see more from there, what you actually can explore. All right. So don't be too comfortable with what you have. This is a part of the journey that if you really want to pursue yourself into your creative kind of industry there, right? This is one of the parts that you have to challenge there. Don't be too comfortable with what you have there. If you felt comfortable with it, okay, yeah, I can pass it, okay? You put your arrogance also at the same time, not you, okay, but some people that get it as we met, okay? You will lose and you won't be able to develop from the because if you saw a lot of people nowadays again, even me, okay, when I actually look at my social media there, okay, there's a lot of people can do more better than me, okay, but I don't feel offended with that. I don't feel weak on that, but I know that what I can do, what I can actually preserve, what I can actually propose in my own kind of way there. But the thing is, we have to be aware that, okay, there's a lot of people also can do more better than that all the time, right? And we can be rephrased all the time there, right? Replace that. So what you can do, try to improve your works from time to time Don't be too satisfied with it. And that's how basically you can grow more. Okay? All right, guys? So enjoy your weekend as I am. And hopefully we can see each other later on for next week kind of presentations there. All right? So I already give those attendance to Mr. Ernest, okay, in our groups over here. All right. Right. I don't want to rush Mr. Ernest, right, okay? So we already sent a message to him. So we have to record the sessions there. So hopefully you guys can gain something from there, okay? Always, okay? And what I'm saying, right, okay? Don't satisfy with what you have here, right? The tools, your kind of what we call the actions, everything in your hands there, right, okay? Try to give more kind of satisfaction what you have models there, right, okay? I would say my kind of influence a lot when I want to design some faces or whatever that I want to draw, okay, is based on the fantasy kind of things there, right? So I love to explore the muscle anatomies of the faces there, okay, and try to study a bit more on the tool itself there, okay, to develop my kind of understanding. Then we can actually add more and more details there. I believe that you guys can do the same thing, but you have to spend more times. You have to open up your mind to clear your mind. Don't put a lot of negative thought on that, okay? And trust yourself there, okay? That you can do better there, okay, from what you have to produce there, right? Okay? It's just like playing with clay there, okay? If you take a look right now, even though I'm not actually exploring more detailing there, okay, I'm using the same tools there. I didn't use any kind of pinch tools there, inflate tool at the moment to add some more detail from there. I just using only one tool to emphasize on the structures itself there first there, guys. All right. So work on that. Okay. Ayan, looking forward to see your works there. JC, hopefully you can improve there, girl. Right? Okay. Pang, the same thing. All right, Mariam, if you actually can improve more and more from your models, go ahead there. Okay. Tressa, there, right? Okay. If you have the hidden kind of thing that you've been working on, okay, that you can submit also in week 13 later on. Okay, we love to see that, right? Okay, we'd love to see that, right? Okay, Lavender, the same thing, right? Okay, Pang, Tung Hui, all right. It's and also the rest of you guys there, right? Okay. So thank you very much for having me today, right, guys? So I will open up my sessions over here. Okay, I'll always open up my sessions right on WhatsApp directly, and you guys can actually send over your progressions over there, okay, to keep me updated, okay, before we submit the works there. Okay, all right, guys. Anything that you want to add? Anything there? Yes, I am. Irfan, maybe I'm going to message him right personally, and I want to see what's going on with him. If she cannot actually write commit, yeah, I understand that, right? So we cannot actually write force people sometimes because of the situation that he has there, right? Because the submissions, okay, because I heard that I have to complete basically for your groups by next week there. And one of the thing is because we actually have to close our all the submissions before this is basically for me as a part-time lecturer, okay, before 30th of November, there, okay, before December there. Those are the things that quite rushing a bit, okay, for us there, okay, not for you guys there, for us there to complete some of the submissions there, some of the claims, some of the administrations kind of works there, right? So that's why I kind of worried about my kind of situations that I get to complete the works there, okay, to submit the marks at the same time there, right? So not for you guys there, for you guys you just, yeah, you can lay a little bit there right from there. Okay guys, okay, if you don't have any questions, right, I'll leave you guys over here, right, to focus on your works, right? And I would say that, yeah, because when I actually design this kind of models, like I spend, you guys can see that, okay, I spend a few minutes to work on that, right? What I say that, okay, you have more than 6 days, 2 weeks there to complete only one model by the same time, okay, but it seems like you need to develop more kind of understanding to improve it more on your works from here. And what I said, try to make it as a notes and improve there, okay? Build up your kind of understanding in both kind of discipline there, right? Traditional kind of way, drawing methods there, right? And also your digital kind of techniques at the same times. Is it true there, right, Teresa? What I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because of this kind of thing there. Same goes to Harsh, right? Harsh, you can draw there, right, Harsh? I think most of you guys can draw, but the methods and techniques there, the methods and techniques that you apply basically, okay, has to be improved a lot, right? You make it as a part of the games there. Make it as a part of the game. If you make it as a part of the, like rushing for the assignments there, right? Okay, like someone actually holding a gun on your head there, okay, right? Pull the triggers, okay. If you don't draw, you will die there, okay. It won't happen in the more natural way. What I believe and what I develop also in my own terms, okay, even though Mr. Ernest, okay, we actually have that kind of driven passions on that. Okay, driven our passions on that. We make it as a part of our passions. That it's part of games there. And I would say, okay, this time of era, okay, a lot of us basically treat the students just like friends, and we kind of like love to open up and be more transparent to share our skills together there, okay. That's basically one of the best thing that happens right now for me there, okay, because when I actually learn, okay, there is not enough kind of resources that we have, but we still develop our kind of understanding and skill together, okay. And I would say we don't have any phones there at the times. That's why maybe there is not enough kind of distraction. I don't say there is there is no distractions or distraction basically at my time there, okay, in our time there, but they still have. I see some of my friends go to clubbing there, right? Spend their weekend basically at some of the place there, playing some of the billiards, snookers there, right? Okay, enjoy them their times over there. But I don't do that, right? Because I believe that I want to produce myself. I want to pursue myself into my careers there. This is my time, my chances there, right? Okay. So I build up those kind of patience from there. So like nowadays also, okay, my kind of what we call that, I believe me, okay, one of the things that I enjoy myself, right, previously is playing games, even though I don't have that kind of privileged kind of time nowadays, and also watch movie there, right, okay. If there is no pandemic, right, okay, normally, okay, I would spend myself alone watching movie there, okay. I'm okay with it, right? Buy popcorn, right, okay, buy some drinks and enjoy myself, okay, on those movie there, right. Some friends or some of my friends, some of the women friends told me that, okay, I kind of like a way like a losers. Like I'm good with it. I don't care about it, right? Okay, because as long as I enjoy myself on my own and to develop my kind of what we call way of working there, it's good there, okay. If I have time, I will bring the kids together. That's all, right? But when you spend times a lot on your own, you can build a lot on yourself. Trust me on that, especially in your creative careers there, right? If you spend a lot of time on your own by not doing some of negative things, you will build up a lot of good things in you later on. Trust me on that. So it's a good things there. It's a very good kind of things that happen from there. Spend more times and develop more discoveries on your creative kind of journey. That's basically one of the things that can build up basically your kind of skills. All right. Those are the things. So trust me on that, and trust also your passions there. People get distracted. I also get distracted. Normal there. But how to control them is all up to us. Okay, guys? It's all up to us there. We build ourselves there from there. Okay? Don't too rush to do some of the works. Spend more time there. Okay? To build up those kind of understanding from time to time. Okay? Your kind of what we call that, it will be rewarding there, okay? It will be rewarding there. Okay? All right, guys. So see you guys then. Thank you very much for having me today. Right, I'm enjoying myself basically, right? Modeling with you guys at the same time, right? And take the notes there. Take my kind of advice, right? Okay, as a part of the things that will help you to gain more kind of your kind of creative journey in the future there, right? Creative kind of entertainment. This is the entertainment business there. Remember that. Okay, when you play games, when you watch some of the YouTubes there, some motivation kind of things there, right? Okay, even though the 2D animation that you saw from here is basically is a part of the, it's a good kind of resources there, right? Resources there. Talk about that. Okay, it's very good resources there you can build from here. So enjoy more, right? I would say pandemic is a very good kind of year for me, because even though everyone, even I'm also have a certain kind of personal kind of issues, problems, families or whatever that we have, but it's all good. It's all good there. It's how we control them. Okay, don't worry too much. Work on that. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a good weekend. Have a good journey or exploring yourself. Okay, let's just say, for examples there, okay? Because I love to share, but people have to ask. If you have something you want to ask me regarding to the creative journey, your kind of explorations, your skills there, okay? You have a free there, okay, to contact me there, okay? You have my numbers, all right? Okay, we have my numbers there. You guys can always chat with me there, right? Okay, regarding to your works there, right? Not about lending money, right? Okay, regarding to the works, okay, what you can actually improve, what you can share also your personal kind of works there, right? Okay, I would love to see there, right? Okay, those are the things. All right, thank you guys. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself. All right, okay, and drink more kind of very healthier food, right? Okay, McDonald's, okay, right? And have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Okay, bye. Take care, guys.